¿Me escucha? Leonard? Morning, it's Karen here. It's good to see you. Bueno, espera, wait just 1 second, please, because we cannot hear you. Oh, you are muted, I guess. Is that...
You should be able to hear me.
Okay. Entonces, un ratito. Can you try to speak now?
Test. Can you hear me?
Okay, now we can hear you. We just turn a little up the volume. Can you speak?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Is this okay?
Yeah, perfect. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
There's Vivi here who wants to say hi. Hi, Leonard. How are you?
Hello. Can you all turn on the camera in the room?
Yes. Can you see us? Wait 1 second. Hi. So that's me?
Yes.
Hi, Leonard.
Hello. How's it going?
And there are some people. Can you? Okay.
Looks perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, people are still coming, but here is Jorge.
Ah.
Hello, Leonard.
Hello, Ray. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I saw your presentation on the first day.
Yeah, great. Thank you. No, great that you could be here with us and talk about this Mid-Ocean Institute. It's great.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it, and I know you've gotten a lot of thanks through the months, but thank you again for all the work you did on the ship and helping to make sure every project got off and helping with the permits. Everything you did was incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
On behalf of all of SOI, we really appreciate everything you did for us.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure, and thank you. See you.
Thank you so much. So we will wait a few minutes.
And we present a little bit today's program, just a few seconds, and then Alexis will present you, will introduce you. Okay, Leonard?
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Ay, esta es la de... Puso la que no era. Ya. A capela, cárense, ¿no? Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the third day of Inqua Mare workshop. Today, we will give you some information about research opportunities, dataset, and repositories. So, Karen, have any news about today?
No news, just to remember you that we will have a campus tour at the end of the day. There will be maybe 1 or 2 shifts because you will get the bus of the Escuela de Geología. So at the end of the day, if you want to get a tour of the campus, please just wait for us outside the Escuela. And I think that's it. The Mariposario of the Universitas is closed, but it will be open tomorrow if you want to go and visit it. Otherwise, you can go to the Mariposario of the National Museum. So the Mariposario, who, for those who doesn't know it, it's the house of butterflies. So, okay. So now I'll leave the chair to our first chair of today, Alexis, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. But those joining in the person at the auditorium of the Central American School of Geology in Costa Rica, and those tuning in online via Zoom. Today, we focus on the research opportunities at different universities and institutes around the world. To kick off the morning session, we have a presentation, a keynote presentation, taken by Leonard Peace, who will speak on the exploration with the Smith Ocean Institute. Leonard Peace is an experienced marine biologist who managed Smith Ocean Institute's annual collaboration proposals and related community coordination and outreach activities. He also managed special projects and liaising with the scientific community. Leonard's work prior to join the Smith Ocean Institute concentrated on support federal grants and environmental conservation. He received his Bachelor of Science degree in Marine and Environmental Science from Hampton University and his Master of Science in Fisheries Biology from the Virginia Institute of Marine Science. So I leave with Mr. Leonard.
Good morning, all. Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm happy to have the opportunity to share a bit about Schmidt Ocean Institute and Research Vessel Falcor 2 and what we all make available to the science community. The vessel, as you see here, is a global class, a little over 100-meter long vessel that is dedicated to ocean science. We make the vessel available to scientists to come aboard, conduct their projects in any number of disciplines, anywhere in the world. Schmidt Ocean Institute is founded and funded solely by Eric and Wendy Schmidt through their wealth. And the ship itself has no home port. The institute itself is structured as a virtual institute. We have no full home office. You can find our employees anywhere from Spain and Germany to the east and west coast of the United States to Hawaii. And the vessel is currently sailing off the coast of off the coast of Peru. And I will get started. Let's see if share screen. All right. It looks to me that you all are seeing my presentation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So a little bit of history about SOI. We were founded in about 2009. When we first began operations, we worked off of a vessel called the Lone Ranger. And we worked off of that for about 2 years while research vessel Falcor was in shipyard getting refit. With Lone Ranger, we kind of got our hands wet with getting science supported on a philanthropically funded vessel. Falcor was previously a German fisheries interdiction vessel, so it wasn't necessarily kitted out for science. So those 2-year period, we built a lot of systems and made the vessel capable for ocean science. We put multi-beam mapping, cranes and support for loading and offloading ROVs and AUVs and those sorts of things. We fitted it with a small lab, and we operated research vessel Falcor for 10 years till just about the pandemic. We operated in many of the world's oceans, from the Atlantic to the Caribbean to the Pacific. During the pandemic, we were in Australia, and we kept the ship in Australia throughout the 1 year of operations that we had through the pandemic when the ship was retired. Falcor 2 was retired in 2022 and was handed over to the Italian government, to Italian CNRS, who are now operating it as Gaia Blue. It is still doing ocean science, so we're really proud of that, but we are no longer operating that. In 2023, we brought research vessel Falcor 2 into operation, and it's had its shakedown year where it operated across the Atlantic. Did a couple of projects in Puerto Rico, and then transited through the canal and into the Pacific, where we've conducted several projects. And we are currently operating off of South America, sailing out of Valparaiso and heading out to Easter Island for a project. The work that we fund and that we support on the vessel is all derived and supported in that it supports our strategic framework. This is a document you can find on our website that speaks to the type of science that we're interested in supporting on the vessel. And that type of science speaks to pretty much everybody in this room. And there's lots of different ways for fitting into that. Mapping the sea floor certainly would speak to a lot of folks here. Exploring the deep certainly does. Those interested in testing technologies or making use of systems that haven't necessarily been used for ocean science, those kinds of things are things that speak to the work that we're doing. Our topics were driven very heavily by the science community, as well as our founders and their interests. One kind of area that you'll see that's not really called out here are shallow water science. We're offering a global class vessel. It is built for deep water. Our ROV is built for deep water. It's 4,500 meter capable. We do have a shallower, smaller ROV, but primarily what we're looking to do is deep water science that isn't necessarily funded by institutional governments. If your government is looking to have a small fleet of vessels and operate off near shore work, that's not the kind of thing we want to be. We want to support work that isn't going to get supported elsewhere. Folks who want to go out to Easter Island, like the project we're doing now, and take a global class vessel to an area where it has never been before or is rarely visited. Those are the kinds of projects that we kind of seek to support. Our future of operations is spelled out over the next 10 years. These are the areas where we're going to be operating. We put this out and we are open to supporting projects now throughout this 10-year period. And what that means for us is that if you have a project that you want to get supported in 2027 or 2028 in those regions, you can submit those proposal ideas to us, and we'll consider those now and start planning out our operations. I can tell you right now, I've got projects that we're looking at in 2025, 26, and 27, and I'm not going to be surprised if I start seeing 2028 proposals later this year. Speaking about the proposals, there are 3 primary ways that projects come into us. The first is through the standard proposal submission process. For us, that is a 2-phase process, and this is the process that I run. Proposals start out as expressions of interest. Those are 2-page documents that kind of give a general idea of what it is you want to do, where you want to be, why you want to do this work. And you can submit it in either a written format where it's a 2-pager or a video presentation where you have about 5 minutes to present your idea and speak to the SOI staff about why it is you want to do this work and why it fits SOI's priorities. From those, and I can tell you for 2024, we just closed our I'm sorry, for 2025, we just closed our expression of interest process, and I'm looking at about 40 or so projects, and 90% of those are written, and about 10% are in video. And those are giving us an idea of what these different scientists want to do in that 2025 bounding box on the west side of southern South America. And from those, we're going to down select 4 projects that we're going to ask for full proposals. Those are the really heavy lift. Those are the 30 to 60 page documents. You have 15 minutes or more to present that if you're going to use a video. And that's going to go into the nitty gritty details of exactly what you want to do, how you want to do it, down to the geographic coordinates for where you would like to dive or collect CTD samples or get coring work done. The idea behind this setup is that for the expressions of interest, it's a relatively easy document to put together, and it's not asking a lot of you as the PI to come up with yourself or a small team of people who want to get a project done. And then SOI, Schmidt Ocean Institute, is not asking a lot of the science community to put these together. And then when it comes time for us to ask for a bigger picture project, we're only asking that of people who have a higher likelihood of getting support. Generally speaking, at the expression of interest level, we're looking at about a 30% success rate. And then from those down selected for full proposals, it's still a 30% success rate. So for the most part, we've received a lot of input that is kind of a supportive environment for PIs to be writing proposals in. And now there are other opportunities and other ways that scientists can get out on the vessel. We have partnerships with a number of different institutions: National Geographic Society, Marine Technology Society, and IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. Those partnerships, those different institutions have opportunities to bring their explorers or scientists out on the vessel in 1 or 2 berth opportunities where, let's just say, a project in 2024 doesn't make full use of the vessel, and there are some available berths that we at SOI find a good fit for your science, and you're a National Geographic explorer. We can work with you through the NGS to find a berth on the vessel in a given year in a given location where there's a good match and there's availability on the ship. Similar with MTS, if you have technology that you want to test or field in a certain area that you can't get out to, there are opportunities through those societies to get out on the vessel and test that equipment or get that data to support your work. And then there's also berths of opportunity. SOI retains 1 or 2 berths on the vessel that can be used for at-sea science. And the type of folks that we're looking for that are artists. For one, we have an artist at sea berth that we sail an artist on every cruise. There are also berths for science. If you're a student and you just don't have an opportunity to get in and you have submitted your project idea to us and we see that there's a fit with your project and a particular cruise, we can use this berth of opportunity to leverage that to get you out on the vessel. And if there are opportunities where a PI, a scheduled scientist says, you know what, I don't have students for my cruise, they can let us know that they're looking for berths, and then we'll use the names that are in our collection of berths of opportunity to try and match with that particular person's science and find somebody to fill that berth of opportunity. A little bit more about the vessel. Not everybody like Jorge has had a chance to get out on the vessel, but I know he talked a bit about the lab space, and I thought I'd do a really quick run through of the vessel. I'm gonna run a really quick video, and every time I run it, I can never keep up with how fast the video goes. So I'll try and keep up. And if anybody has questions about any space, I've got time at the end, and we can go back through it. Let's see. So starting on the aft deck of the ship, you're looking back aft, and as you move to port, you'll see ROV Sebastian is housed there. We're currently standing on one of the moon pools on the vessel. It's not currently being used for Sebastian, but it could be in the future, but it currently goes out of that aft door. Moving to port, you have the CTT Rosette and our dirty wet lab where wet samples come on board, and there's area there to start sifting through samples and getting samples processed. And now we're going to move forward through the vessel as the video progresses. Now we're into the hydro lab, which is just forward of it, where there's space for equipment and further opportunity to process samples. There's hoods there, there's air ducts and fume hoods and wet lab. Now we're in the mission control room where ROV Sebastian and any other technology is controlled and operated. There's room and gallery space for 10 to 12 and standing room for more than that, and screens that can bring in any video that's coming in through the vessel, through Sebastian or any other equipment in the water. And moving forward from there, we have the wet lab with ducts, freezers, fume hoods, space for lab equipment. And across from that is the computer electronics lab, space for more folks to be operating computers, controlling vehicles. One interesting thing here is you'll see that there is windows with ductwork going through. That is a specific request from Eric Schmidt to make sure that people could see how the science that they're doing is actually transiting through the vessel. Now we're looking at the main lab with a configurable space for dozens of scientists, freezers, fume hoods. You can bring your equipment in here. This is obviously the area completely empty, but when it's underway, there's systems from everybody in there. Now we're looking at the water lab, where you have lots of different flavors of water, everything from fresh, cold, processed, deionized water. There's a liquid nitrogen generator in there. You can get microplastic filtered water in there. Then moving up higher in the vessel, there's a conference room for ship-to-shore communications, classes, any kind of flexible space there. Moving further up from that is the kind of communal space where people meet and have video conferences, a lot of opportunity for science to be discussed here. And moving forward from this is where you have your galley and your eating areas. There's eating area for, I think it's 30 people in a sitting. And then here's one example of a bunk space. This is a 2-person bunk, but there's bunk space and availability for the science party of up to 25 scientists can go out on the vessel at any given time. Yeah, as I said, that video runs a little quick, so I tried to get through it. I'm happy to talk through any of the spaces in the Q&A section, but I will move on. Oh, it's gonna rerun, hang on. There we go. And I also wanted to talk about some other opportunities. As I said, we have partnerships with lots of different groups. One of those groups is National Geographic. They have a running call for explorers, and explorer is what they use, is their term for grantee. And they have 2 different levels of grantees or explorers, level 1 and level 2. The partnership, the specific partnership with SOI is their level 1 grantees. So if you were to submit an application to them and you say you need ship time on Falcor 2 and funding because SOI doesn't provide dollars for salary or shipping or equipment, you could get funding for a level 1 grant from National Geographic and ship time with SOI, or you could just be looking for dollars to do your own science, and National Geographic has opportunities for funding at level 1 and level 2 for just supporting your science. So if you don't have any particular need for SOI or ship time and you just want dollars for science, National Geographic is also a way that you could find support for that. This is the 2 points of contact, and they are happy to engage and answer any questions specific to that award. And there's an RFID tag here for the link to their website. And then Schmidt Ocean Institute is just one of many of the Schmidt enterprises, Schmidt philanthropies. There's another one called Schmidt Marine Technology Partners, where they support technology development with a business application. So their ideal target are technology development where you as a technology developer are trying to build this thing and you have got it working in the lab. You've got a couple of different customers that are interested in what you're doing, but you don't have that funds to go from this piece of kit with a couple of people to fully commercialized and a name that everybody knows. Their target is supporting people in that what is called the Valley of Death for technology, getting them over that Valley of Death where they can get their piece of technology out to large numbers and that they become self-sustaining. That is the area that they focus at specifically, but they also have funding for lots of other kinds of things in the technology sphere. So if that's something of interest to you, I put their contact information there, and there can be dollars for supporting technology development through them. I'm going to take a quick pause here and share another video that's kind of specific to what I think the majority of the folks in this room are interested in. A recent cruise on Falcor 2 just finished up that made really, really interesting use of, well, I'll let the video speak for itself and kind of answer any questions that folks might have afterwards.
We came here to test technology to further understanding of hydrothermal systems at the seafloor, and we came here to merge all of those things together. Normally, you're often just lost and blind at the bottom of the ocean. Because we had the maps and because we had the synthetic aperture sonar, we were able to drive with pinpoint accuracy to all the various spots we wanted to go. When you drive up to a
Sorry,
vent,
Leonard, can you hear me?
everything's dark.
It's look like it's not working. Like we can hear the audio, but the images are not running. Can you start it again,
okay.
please?
You said try again?
Yeah, please.
Okay, let's...
We
Still doesn't look like it's running
came
on my
here
side.
to test
Pardon,
technology.
didn't hear you.
You can hear, but you're not seeing the video?
Yeah, we can hear, but the images is like freezed at the very beginning of the video.
Okay, let's try... I think I know what the problem is. Hang on one second. Okay, let's see. All right, so you're seeing the presentation. Let's do that. All right. No, you're still seeing. Give me 1 second. All right, now?
Yeah, now it's working. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do it this way.
We
Thank you.
came here to test technology to further understanding of hydrothermal systems at the seafloor, and we came here to merge all of those things together. Normally, you're often just lost and blind at the bottom of the ocean. Because we had the maps and because we had the synthetic aperture sonar, we were able to drive with pinpoint accuracy to all the various spots we wanted to go. When you drive up to a vent with the ROV, everything's dark, but as you get closer, things start to slowly illuminate. The first thing you always see when you approach a hydrothermal vent is the bacterial mats. And I'm like, got it. Just like that. And we found, 7 or 8 actively venting complexes, towers 10, 12, 15 meters tall. The highest temperature was over 250 degrees, and tube worms and all of the animals. And to me, that really validated our approach. A good example of the technology is one of the sites we went to, we had the ship-based bathymetry, so we knew that this was a place that was likely hydrothermally active, but no one had ever discovered any venting at the site before. So we went down with the ROV and we mapped with the M3, and right away we saw indications that's probably where there are some hydrothermal vents. We can now see if a vent is active or inactive simply from the SAS data. Knowing the texture of the seafloor, that'll give you information on what types of animals can live there. So this could really change our understanding of distributions of different animals or how ecosystems function, those sorts of things. We're the first ones to really try this using the SAS as an exploration tool. So what can you see with SAS, synthetic aperture sonar, that you don't see with regular sonar systems? It's just more detail.
Seeing the black smoker on the SAS image, I think no one expected to see that. That's something that's unique. So I think this is a great advance that we got.
I've been in the business for 30 years and have been exploring the ocean floor for precisely these sorts of environments for 30 years. And in the early days, we would spend weeks upon weeks hoping that we might encounter just one site. And what INSAS has done for us, and also the M3 multi-beam mapping, has allowed us to identify the targets before we even go into the water. Now that we know we can do this, there's no going back. Well, it was a spectacular success from a technological point of view. We would have discovered the value of INSAS and the M3 high-resolution mapping, whether there were hydrothermal vents or not. It's just that we got the double benefit of having this technology in the right place at the right time to be able to discover the hydrothermal activity that we did.
A large part of this cruise is using what we call active acoustics, which send out acoustic signals and they listen to the response that comes back. But we also have the deep acoustic lander, which is what I'm working with, and that's a passive acoustic instrument that just listens. We're just trying to understand the natural soundscape. If we can understand the acoustic source mechanisms and tie that to the flow rate or temperature and other properties of the vent, then we can use passive acoustics to monitor them geologically. I've only done very kind of preliminary analysis, but that's kind of pointing in the direction of some interesting signals from the black smoke or high temperature sites.
Cómo esto favorece a Ecuador, a Galápagos y al Pacífico Este tropical. Si nosotros adquirimos el conocimiento de los ecosistemas de profundidad, tenemos más argumentos para ayudar a la conservación no únicamente de una isla, pero de una región de extremada importancia, que es el Pacífico Este tropical.
What is the driver to get us to see? Somehow there's something about going into another world that is truly exhilarating. It's a world we don't belong in, and yet you realize how connected you are to it. We need to care about every part, from top to bottom, from what's happening in the atmosphere, what we're doing on land, how we affect the deep ocean, and how the deep ocean affects us, which it does. Keeping those connections safe is what will keep us alive on this planet.
Okay, I know I'm running a little tight on time. I will, let's see, after this was, talk quickly about where we're headed to next. 2024 has us kind of operating off the west side of South America. These are the different project names. You can learn a lot more about these on our website. These are kind of the subject matters, a lot of deep sea work, a lot of trench and seamount work. But one thing of particular note, one of the projects I think would be of great interest to folks here because we at SOI have just finished building out our own vibrocorer to get deeper cores than the push core that RV Sebastian currently has. And one of these cruises, it's the September cruise, will be the first scientific use of the new vibrocorer system that we're building out. And hopefully we'll be able to make a lot of use of that going forward and getting the geoscience community deeper cores than SOI could get before that. I will stop here with an image of where we're headed and give folks the kind of obvious news that 2023 is now over. And we at SOI are starting to build out what the new version of this map is going to look like with 2033 in it, and where we're going to be headed in 2033 should be coming out in the next month or two, and this map will be soon updated. And I will stop there and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. We have a few minutes for any questions. I'd like to remember the people that join us by online that you can write your questions, and I will read to Mr. Leonard. So, anybody have?
Thank you, Leonard. And as he mentioned, I've been on board the first Falcor and 3 times in this one, and definitely it's really worthwhile. It's an impressive operation. The support you get, it's nothing like the regular research vessels. Everybody's there, really help. They never say, no, that cannot be done, or we have to check with someone else. No, they just do it. You ask them, and if it's possible, they do it. And it's the Sebastian is very dynamic, really good for all types of samples, cores, push cores, collecting with the arms, suction cups, suction water samples, and also a huge amount of data is collected on every dive, plus also with the CTD, with bottles, you can also collect a lot of samples, and all the mapping system is also very, very impressive. So if you have a chance to use it, go for it. And you heard how it's done.
I just wanted to build on one thing Jorge mentioned, and that was the data. We make all our data publicly available. So from any cruise that we've operated in, the data that's collected from Falcor's underway systems are all available in the different repositories specific to that data set. So if it's ridge to reef R to R or MGDS, depending on what your flavor of interest is, any information from Falcor 2 should be publicly available. And if it's not, let us know and we'll find it for you if the ship collected it.
Another questions, comments?
Thank you, Leonard, for this very inspirational presentation. I was just wondering, you mentioned vibrocoring coming from the geosciences. What other coring equipment do you have on board or available?
Could you repeat the question for me? I didn't quite catch.
Can you hear me now? Is it?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. I was just wondering what other coring equipment you have on board. You mentioned vibrocoring, but what kind of coring systems do you have on board?
So the push cores are what RV Sebastian has. Vibrocoring will be the first system that we build for coring purposes. Generally speaking, when a science party wants to bring coring equipment, they bring it from their labs or they collaborate with somebody to bring the systems that they want. Falcor 2 is very stable, and we've got 2 moon pools, A-frame and J-frames. So just about anything and a heavy lift crane. So just about any coring equipment that the community would like to use, we can bring on the vessel. But it would be something that you as the PI would bring from your lab, or you'd have collaborators to bring, and we would have a conversation about getting it shipped to the vessel and fielded. But the vessel itself can field just about anything.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Any question?
Hello, Leonard. Hi. Thank you for your presentation. I have just a curiosity. I had the opportunity to be on board at Falco 2, and it was amazing. And as a student and young researcher, I was wondering if you offer some kind of practical training or internship for students that want to actually learn how it works, data collection on a vessel?
So that has been a question that we've gotten asked a lot. And no, we don't have any specific program for training. For the most part, the science parties make full use of every available berth and are begging for more. So we have not engaged in something like that, and there are certainly other programs out there that do that sort of thing. STEMSeas is the first one that comes to mind. There's a new one called Peerside. Those are both STEMSeas I think is international. Peerside is US, and that's operated from the University of Florida. But should a student raise their hand and say, I want to learn how to do multi-beam mapping, I think there could be a way that we could get them on a transit or just to visit the vessel in port for kind of a one-off experience. There has not been any talk internally about developing a full program for training of that sort.
There is any question online? Okay, thank you, Mr. Leonard, for your presentation.
Thank you all. And if anybody has any questions, or if you want to reach out and put an expression of interest in, please feel free to email me. I think that I know the organizers have my email. It's lpace@schmidocean.org. I'm happy to answer any further questions or help any of you put a proposal into us for the future.
Our next presentation is by Carolina Paggi from the Università di Pisa. She will talk online and about the exchange opportunities with the University of Pisa. So,
hello everyone. Can I share my presentation then? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to talk to you about our department and then what are the opportunities for visiting us. Sorry. Yes. So at the Department of Earth Science, we have a very robust practical approach for the preparation of our students. And here, of course, you can see some of the photos taken in our many fieldworks. Our teaching offer consists of both bachelor, master degrees, and as you will see, also a PhD programs. And the bachelor degrees, we offer courses both in geological science and natural and environmental science. And then at the master level, we have a broader offer, including environmental science and geological sciences again, but also exploration and applied geophysics. And in particular, for the bachelor, the geological sciences is further subdivided into several curriculum, and in such a way that all our students can potentially be more specific or choose some exam of their choices to be selected and specialize in the different topics. Other than that, the natural and environmental science, they offer 3 different curriculum, which instead they are more on a fixed topics. Regarding the master degrees, again, I said that there's geology, geophysics, and environmental science. And again, these can be subdivided into different topical curriculum. We have for environmental science, one curriculum is environmental monitoring and remediation, but also a very important one in climatology. And regarding the geological sciences, again, we have 4 main directions: volcanology, structural geology, applied geology, and also the new income, which is hazards. And the last one is, as I said, the Master in Exploration and Applied Geophysics, which is now organized as a single curriculum, but there will be up-and-coming curricula in earthquakes and volcano monitoring with geophysical methods. Also, we have a lot of courses, of course, offered in Italian, but now more than 40 courses across both the Master in Earth, Geology, Environment, or Geophysical degrees are offered in English. And more importantly, there's quite a lot of courses that include the fieldwork, and also 2 courses that are mainly based on fieldwork and only to a lesser extent to direct lectures in the class. So this allows our students, but also any possible foreign students, to see important places that are important for our geology. We go and see the ophiolites. We also go and see many of the active volcanoes, either in the Aeolian or in the southern Tuscany. So here I put you the link for our teaching courses in English. Last but not less important is the fact that students and also staff members are have a vast access to different type of laboratories, and both are the Raman spectrography, quite a lot of geochemistry, but also paleontology and digital laboratories for GIS or MATLAB and other digital techniques applied to geology. Here, yes, I put more photos of our labs just to give you an idea of the range of opportunities that we can offer. And the new entry is a PhD program, which is in geoscience and environment, and it's got something between 5 to 10 students per year. A lot of them are local, but the more you go up from bachelor to master and then to PhD, and the more the environment is international. So we also have many PhD students from abroad. Here I'm just showing you the last of their endeavor, and our PhD student organized a conference on geothermal topics just recently, because the university also gives them funding and opportunities to develop this type of programs from based on their own interests. And last, the opportunities for visiting our department, they are of two types. Mainly, we can offer support for those of you who have access to Erasmus staff mobility, either for training or for teaching. This is normally open for EU members, but also extra EU. The main starting point will have to be your university, but then through your Erasmus office or your international office, if you are outside the EU, we can organize visit and find support for a short period, normally 5 working days to a couple of weeks. And the other program that we have that instead is able to provide funding for somewhat longer time periods, something between 1 to 2 months, it's the Visiting Fellow program, which is funded by the University of Pisa. So it doesn't have special requirements of the nation or the university you are from, is open to all nationalities. And it offers financial support for visiting researcher to come to the University of Pisa and collaborate with one of the colleagues in our department. The minimum period is 1 month, but I can extend it up to 12 months if you ever want to be outside of your country for such a long period. And the financial support can be as much as 3,000 euros per month, depending on the year and of course on many other circumstances, but the requirement is also to teach a full course in English in one of our degrees. And again, we made a new web page for the international opportunities. The link, you can find it here, and I hope you can find all the information. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Carolina. We have time for questions. Anybody have some questions, comments?
Ciao Carolina, it's Karen here. Thank you for your presentation, first of all. And I would like to ask, maybe you said it, but maybe I missed it. Are there any time scheduled during the year when we should apply for, or people should apply for the different programs, specific time of the year?
What program? Sorry, the Visiting Fellow program.
Yeah, the Erasmus program in general.
Yes, there's two options. Either you have an internal college that invites someone from a different university, and or we can also accept the so-called unsolicited request. But normally the distribution of the financial support is managed by the Central University in around springtime. So we don't have an opening yet for 2024, but roughly is that time of the year. So, I mean, the university, if you get in touch or let know one of our colleagues in the University of Pisa, then they will let you know when when the opening comes up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other question? In the people online? No. Okay. Thank you, Carolina.
Thanks.
So to continue, the next presentation is by Fausto Ferraccioli from the Instituto Nazionale di Oceanografia e Geofísica Experimental. We will talk about the exchange opportunity with the Istituto Nazionale di Oceanografia e Geofísica Sperimentale, Italia OGS. So,
hello to everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good, I will try and share the screen now. Let's hope that works. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Can you still see it?
We look the second screen, not the presentation that.
Sorry again, I can't hear you very well. Can you see it? Can you see it?
I'm sorry, I think you're sharing the second screen.
Okay, so maybe. Try again. I'm trying to share the whole screen, but I'm just going to try and share just the slides, see if that helps. It tells me I am sharing, but maybe I try this. Try and take off one. Any better?
No, this is the same case.
Same as before?
Yeah, we only could see the secondary screen. So if you have two screens, to share the first one.
Maybe then I don't put it in presentation mode, maybe. Okay. Like this, can you see?
Yeah, we can see the presentation, but the PPT mode. Can you try to
Let me
share?
Just reduce because I think it automatically always defaults to. Is this good enough?
Yeah, we could see it, but it's not on presentation mode. No, we can leave it.
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller, maybe.
Okay, okay. No, we can leave it in like
yeah, I
this.
think this
okay,
is the only solution.
Okay.
Okay, so I will try and present you an overview a bit of OGS and what opportunities we have, mostly to visit OGS. So OGS is the National Institute of Oceanography and Applied Geophysics, and its headquarters are located in Trieste. We have various different sites. Our main one is located close to a famous cave site. It's at Borgo Grotta Gigante, but we also have sites that you can see beneath here, which are closer to the sea. And we have some remote field offices as well in Venice, where we have some of our seismologists, and also areas where we perform some rather interesting research on CO2 emissions. These are in the south of Italy at Latera and Panarea, And we're also thinking of expanding ourselves, having future field offices in Genova, Livorno, and perhaps in the more distal future also in Naples. Regarding what, say, our scientific vision is, it's quite broad. So we want to try and contribute towards building through scientific knowledge resilient and sustainable communities, ecosystems, and economies in a changing planet, with our mission being primarily to understand Earth and ocean processes and predict their changes, mainly by collecting, analyzing, and interpreting oceanographic, geophysical, and seismological data. And a particular focus in these years is to try and make this information more and more available, not just through publications, but in general to society, and improving awareness in particular of natural risks and disasters. So mainly OGS has a variety of different fields of activity. These include oceanography. We look at physical, chemical, biological, and also geological oceanography. We work on geophysics, and this includes experimental and exploration geophysics and seismology, and this includes both seismology applied to engineering and applied seismology. We have 5 major science missions. These focus on sea and ocean, Earth processes, disaster risk, polar areas, and open science. And my department, the geophysics department, is particularly involved in 2 of them, Earth processes and polar areas, but also in open science. And of course, we contribute important data sets also to our colleagues in seismology who work mostly in the disaster risk area. And of course, indirectly, although mostly we focus on the Earth, on the solid Earth part, we also contribute with some of the geophysical work also to sea and ocean, and also, of course, to looking at paleoceanography within the Earth processes, but this also has relevance to some of the more modern oceanography processes. A particular opportunity, really, and perhaps one of the greatest areas of strength in OGS is in the exploration of the polar areas. And this has, in fact, strengthened considerably in recent years because OGS has acquired an icebreaker, Laura Bassi, which incidentally, as a rather curious anecdote, it was a property of the British Antarctic Survey, with which I actually worked for almost 20 years. So it was quite interesting to re-find this when joining OGS. So as I said, the research vessel offers quite large opportunities for the national but also international community to do research at both poles. It's been with OGS since 2019, has this interesting name, Laura Bassi. This is in honor of the Italian physicists and academics who lived from 1711 to 1778, and she was actually the second female graduate in Italy. So I think it's rather interesting that the name is quite a nice example of gender equality centuries ago. So the Laura Bassi has ice-breaking capabilities. I don't have time here to go through all the details. It's mostly involved in polar missions in the Antarctic. And perhaps a rather interesting curiosity, it had this world record this year, reaching the furthest point, south point in Antarctica. And perhaps this is both a good and a bad piece of news, since it reminds us of how much climate change we have in Antarctica. So the ship is mostly used for logistics support, but also for science. And I'm not sure this video will run, but I wanted hopefully to show you. Let me see if it does run. Probably not, because it needs full run. But what I wanted to show you here was that it also has helicopter capabilities. So this is also quite a large possibility to do geological and geophysical field work also onshore. I'm just wondering whether this runs, maybe it's a bit small, but I wanted to show you, give you an impression of what it is like to work in Antarctica. So here you can see this beautiful glaciated landscape and an approach with the helicopter towards the ship, and really gives you I think, a beautiful perspective of what it's like. So here we are, we're getting close to the ship now, and we're going to land on it. Okay, so I will try and resort to the full screen again. Oh, maybe this might be difficult. Okay, can you still see it? Good, that's good news. So the opportunities here are mostly to do oceanography work, and I should say there are also opportunities to do work en route, because let's say the ship travels to the polar regions both ways. So there's quite large opportunity, in fact, quite large interest from OGS to increment work, opportunistic work, as we go to Antarctica. We have multi-beam capabilities to do all sorts of geomorphology, oceanography, geology work. We have a sub-bottom profiler. We can do multi-channel seismic work. We can do acoustic work. And also very important, in addition to work that can be done in OGS through, for example, collaborative international projects. There's a special call every 2 years for international opportunities on the polar regions. We have an absolutely huge wealth of existing seismic data. In fact, OGS is a prime compiler and makes a lot of this data publicly available. So there are absolutely huge opportunities to work on existing data sets to explore the continental margins and understand the largest ice sheets left on Earth. We also have a huge amount of knowledge in drilling in the Antarctic, and we contribute to international initiatives in the ocean. We have a lot of different projects that we can work on that combine geophysical data, mooring, sediment cores, oceanographic data, and we also try and tie this to ice core work. Some recent opportunities, for example, we have just performed a major project on the stability of the largest ice sheet on Earth. This is a PNRA, which is the Italian Antarctic Program opportunity, and we're actually advertising at the moment for a PhD student. So let's say the calls for a new student will be out in 2024. So the calls are open also to international students. Another major opportunity, if funded, might come through an ERC that has just been submitted. And here we will be, if this is funded, we will be recruiting at least 3 or 4 PhD students and probably 5 or 6 postdocs. And this, I think, is, I wanted to show this, although it's still not funded, because it's a beautiful example of interdisciplinary research linking ice, ocean, lithosphere in Antarctica using marine, airborne geophysics and geological data. I also wanted to show you, so I need to switch to another presentation here, hopefully. Let me see if this works. I wanted to also show you some other opportunities still in terms of science. So hopefully you can see this. We also work a lot in the Mediterranean, and in particular seabed mapping, and OGS has almost 20 years of experience in this. And we have a variety of projects that we are still working on using a wealth of marine geophysical data in particular. And I particularly want to highlight one project, METIC, where we're looking at the quaternary evolution of Italy, including the continental margins, and a project that's very recently been initiated in 2023, and it's connected to Eurofleets, where we have just collected a lot of data in the Squillace Canyon. And again, here there might be opportunities for the community to apply for fellowships to come and visit us to work on this. Another initiative which is no longer funded but has a huge amount of data that was acquired in Italy is the MAGIC project. There's no direct funding here, but as I said, the availability of data is absolutely outstanding. So there are really quite exciting opportunities to work on that. And at the moment, Italy has been quite lucky because it's received a formidable amount of funding through the Recovery and Resilience Plan after COVID. And so we can use some of these data sets that come, for example, from MAGIC and incorporate these into new projects that are looking at the mapping and basically the development of new strategies for open mapping throughout the Mediterranean, but in particular in Italy. So there are quite large opportunities there as well. We're advertising at the moment for 2 postdoc positions as part of these recovery and resilience plans. And we have one PhD student who's just started, but perhaps in the future we might be able in 2025 to initiate others. So I wanted to just close with some more general opportunities. Probably, I'm not sure. Can you see the screen here, or you can? Okay, so this is around international mobility, blue skills, and talent circulation. So this is more in general in terms of opportunities. So opportunities come from Erasmus, for example, Mare Curie fellowships that we host, the TRILL program, and TWAS, which is also another visiting program. So we can also find ways.
Can you hear me? Okay, sorry, we're probably not seeing the same slide that you're speaking of.
You're not seeing the same slides?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so maybe I need to. I apologize. So I'm just going to try again. Can you see now?
Yes, perfectly. Thanks.
Okay, so to repeat, these are sort of broader opportunities, let's say beyond the ones that I mentioned that are related to the department I direct. So these are opportunities for international mobility, blue skills, and talent circulation. And so here, what we normally do is we subscribe to the Erasmus Mobility Program, to Marie Curie schemes, to the TRILL program. This is in collaboration with the International Center of Theoretical Physics, ICTP. And then we have the TWAS CISA, which is an institute close to us, visiting program. We've also had several people coming to gain scientific experience in OGS through this. This is just some statistics here. You can see that let's say through these different science schemes, we generally host between 1 and 3 students per year. But as you can see, because of the large amount of different scholarships that we offer, this comes up to quite high numbers. And it's a very diverse population. This is just statistics from 22, 23. As you can see, we have researchers, students, postdocs coming from a variety of different countries all over the world. So it's quite a nice research environment to be in. This is just a bit of statistics, which I won't bother you too much on. I just wanted to show you something on the blue skills. So we have quite a nice and actually very successful training program built around, let's say, capacity building, circular mobility, raising awareness in blue growth and blue careers, but also project management and communication. So these are wider skills that can be, of course, used also beyond geoscience and science in general. We have an advanced master in sustainable blue economy, which has also been very successful. With a variety, over 50 professors and speakers that don't just belong to OGS, but we use all of the available, let's say, national and territorial level professors and professionals that can help teach in this. So this is just a snapshot. Again, the students that come to this advanced master in sustainable blue economy come from all over the world and in very different fields, from marine sciences to oil and gas to agriculture to marine sciences, coastal hydrology, and so forth. So it's a highly interdisciplinary type of environment. So with that, I think I will terminate, because I think my slot is finished. And I thank you very much for your attention, and happy to answer questions. And if I can't answer them immediately myself, I'm happy to note them down and ask them to some of our colleagues who run many of these different opportunities. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Fausto. There is some question, comment.
Good morning, Fausto. Thank you for your presentation. It's Karen. So I would love to ask more or less the same question that Andrea asked to Leonard. So which are the opportunity for students to come on board of the Laura Bassi or do some training to use the instrumentation that you have on board, or how can they be trained to become technician if they would love to become technician? Are there any possibilities in this sense?
This is a very, very good question. To my knowledge, we haven't formalized a full training program at the moment. So I should say that the ship is, let's say, once it gets to beyond 60 South, is effectively, so OGS runs it, but it then goes into the domain, let's call it, of the Italian Antarctic program. So I am aware that some national Antarctic programs, I'm less sure about Arctic programs, have developed how to say, a national or even transnational training program. To my knowledge, I've actually just joined the Italian Antarctic Committee, so I might be wrong. But to my knowledge, this still has to be, how to say, formalized in the program. I actually think it could be quite an interesting thing. As we know, it's extraordinarily expensive to do this type of polar research. So I think it would need to be somewhat embedded into some of the research projects. But I don't think this would be impossible to think of. As I said, the ship has only been run by the Italian Antarctic program since 2019. And of course, there was also COVID and all of this. So we're still in the first few years. But I actually think this could be quite a nice thing to try and develop with limited numbers. I know in some projects, certainly these involve students, and they do all the time through PhDs and of course also via postdocs who are directly involved in projects. But perhaps one could think beyond that. The problem is, I have to say, the problem is mostly related to berthing at the stations, because because that is very limited to normally around 100 between, the researchers and the technicians. So of course, let's say if berthing and transportation, say, back from Antarctica is involved, then that gets more difficult. But I think this might not be possible. The other thing is that once Italy develops fully at Mare Zucchelli, that is the station that the Italians operate, a runway, let's say it may well be possible that the ship is somewhat used less, let's say, for all of the logistic operations that I briefly described. So maybe there will be more windows of opportunity. So to my knowledge, I think Renata might be in the audience, but to my knowledge, the Italian Antarctic program doesn't have a formal, how to say, out of project training type of capacity. I don't know if Renata's there, and maybe she can correct me, but.
Hello, Fausto. It's Renata here. Yeah, just to join to what you were saying, I think actually there is not even a national initiative on this sense in preparing students. I mean, possibly people receive a training to work on board at the time they are actually part of a research group already. And almost only the people, according to this national program of research in Antarctica, that is running since 1980, basically, only the people that will take part to the expedition are trained. Not, there is not an open course in advance. I want just to add that this information that Fausto gave about possibility to start a fellowship or PhD and all these things, it's on the website of OGS. There is on the website there is a presentation that of the division of OGS as Fausto presented. And then at the end of the page, there is a site that is indicated as a work with us. So, and there you can find the call for position, either as a postdoc or possibly also as a PhD student.
Thank you, Renata. Yes, that's an important point.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fausto. Now we will take a little break for 15 minutes, 20, 15 minutes. After that, we will continue with the 2 second conferences before the lunch. So, see you.
Okay, before we start, I will leave to Alexis the chair in 1 second. But before we start, there's one person who would love to say hi. And this person is Nessim, who is one of the Inqua Mare organizer. And at the moment he is in Trieste with his broken leg, hopefully repaired. So Nessim, can you say hi? We cannot hear you, Nessim. And we cannot see you.
Nessim.
Nessim. Nessim.
Nessim.
Nessim.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Yay! Hi, Nessim. Nessim, can you hear us? Nessim.
Sara está pegado el sonido.
Sí, pero ese era el que lo tiene que quitar, yo creo. Nessim.
Nessim.
Just say hi. Nessim.
Okay, we cannot hear you. Can you turn on your microphone? No. In Zoom. In Zoom, Nessim, sei mutato.
Devi accendere il tuo microfono. No, mi sa che sei ancora mutato. Aspetta un attimo. ¿No se le puede pedir que lo...? No, hay un cosito que se le pone. Quita el micrófono. Sí, Nessim, debí activar el audio.
So it's us that cannot hear Nessim because they're saying... No, the other can hear him. So the problem is ours. Okay, Patrizia, can you hear us? Because we cannot hear Nessim.
Sí.
Can you hear us?
Un attimino, Nessim.
Can you hear us?
Okay. I am hearing you.
Okay, now I'm hearing you, Nessim. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Ciao.
Okay. Finally, we did it. It was even complicated to be connected even through Zoom.
So, hi, how are you?
I'm fine now. I'm finally in Italy again, and I would like to say hi to all of you. I really wanted to be with you in Costa Rica, but I had an accident, and it was complicated to join you for the third Inqua Mare meeting. I hope that I will be ready for the fourth one.
Okay, thank you.
Next time you can come to see the slot. The slot is waiting for you, Nessim.
Hi, Nessim. Hi, Nessim. It's Renata. So the leg is still there?
What?
Is the leg still there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Still, I have it. Yeah. My leg now is fixed with all the ligaments.
We lost the images. We cannot see you.
Okay, Zoom is having some issues today.
We cannot see you, but we can hear you, Nessim.
Yeah.
Yeah, my leg is fixed. I have some new ligament now, and I'm ready for her new trips and new adventures with this new leg.
Okay. So thank you, Nessim, to say hello to everybody.
Thank you, Vivi, for the organization of this event.
Thank you, Nessim. See you. Bachi.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, now we will continue with the presentations. For the people who don't know, he is Paolo Galli. He is a full professor at the University of Milano Bicocca. He's the founder of the Mare Center, Marine Research and Higher Education Center, that founded in 2009. From 2014, is the director of the Mare Center, located in Maldives. His expertise in area that includes marine ecology, parasite ecology. He has more than 200 publications that include in scientific papers, books, and conference papers. His keynote presentation is pre-recorded, but he is there. So he can solve some questions that you have at the final of the keynote. So you can play the presentation. Oh. One moment, please.
WhatsApp. So, Professor Galli, I just read your WhatsApp message. Do you want to say a pair of words before we start your presentation?
Okay, just only hello everybody. I'm very sorry that I'm not able to present my presentation just only online, but so I decided to record my presentation because now I'm not in Milano, I'm in Sri Lanka because I have a meeting. So I was not sure that there was a very good connection, so I was not sure that the technology was able to support me. And so now you will see my presentation. At the end of this presentation, you can, if you want, if you need, if you have any question, you can ask me any question. So I will be happy to reply to you. And thank you. So now you can start to share my recorded presentation.
Thank you, Professor Galli.
Very sad that I'm not here with you in your amazing country. I'm here in Milano, Bicocca University, but I'm living in another country. In a few hours, I will take a flight and I will go in Sri Lanka for a meeting. So I decided to record this presentation for you. Now, just only 1 second, I set up the recording. Okay, so today we speak about Mare Center, a research center located in the Maldives. And we speak about the history, infrastructure, logistics, and research activities that can be done in this amazing place. But before to start to speak about Mare Center, I would like to tell you something about myself. Just only a few words about my life. When I was 5 years old, my idea was to become a torero, and my idea was to become a bullfighter. But after I changed my idea, and I decided when I was 16 to become a marine biologist. And I started to work with parasites. And as you can see on your right, there is a Protogyrodactylus federici, is the name of a new species that I discovered several years ago. And this parasite has been dedicated at my wife. My wife, the name of my wife is Federici, so I decided to call this parasite Protogyrodactylus federici. And after that, I started to, after to start to work with parasite, I decided to work with corals and with environment, and we started to work in the Maldives, and we started to work in this place. This is the island where we are. We are located in the north part of the Maldives. And now we can start to speak about Mare Center. Mare Center is a research center that started in 2009. Has been set up after an agreement with the government of Maldives. But I started to work in the Maldives in 2006, and the first time that I arrived in the Maldives, some people, when I started to organize meeting with the government, with the ministries, inside of the ministries, I realized that in 2006 there was not a research center, and there wasn't any kind of university. There was not university. There was nothing. Just only it was possible to study until the secondary school. And for any Maldivian student that finished the secondary school, the only option to continue their study was to go abroad, to go in Sri Lanka, India, Europe, but it was not possible to work in to study in Maldives. And so during one of the meetings, I told them, but maybe we can do something together. Maybe my university can do something together with you. And so they told, yes, why not? So we started. And after, in these years, starting from 2009, when we signed the agreement, we signed different agreements with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change and Technology, Ministry of Fisheries, Ministry of Health, Education, Tourism, Culture and Heritage, and this is really, really important. Just only, I want to tell you something about how is organized this center before to show you how is in the reality this center. This center has two important points. It's organized inside of two important points. One is that we have agreement with anyone in the Maldives. So we are not tourists, we are researchers, and we have to sign agreement with anyone. So we have an agreement with Minister of Fisheries, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, any kind of agreement, but also not only at the government level, but also at the local level. We have agreement also with the community where this center is located. And the second point is related at the technology that we are able to use in this center, but I will explain to you this point later. So, this center is located in the Mare Center. Marine Research and Higher Education Center is located in the south part of the Maldives, 130 kilometers far from the capital. And we are located in the Fafu Atoll, an atoll with a size of 40 kilometers, more or less. And we are in an island. It's called Magudu Island. And this island it was, but I will explain to you later why. I'm not sure about how long is this island. Was more or less 1,700 meters long and 300 meters wide. There are more or less 900 people, and among these people, around 70% of these people are under 14 years old. Okay, and this is our island. Okay, Maldives, and in the Maldives, of course, there are, as probably you know, 1,200 teeny islands, and more or less 200 uninhabited islands, and exactly 198 uninhabited islands, and population are more or less 300,000 people. And more than 100 islands are just only dedicated as a tourism, as a resource. This is our island, as I told you, is more or less 700 meters long. And I told you that I'm not sure how long is this island, because when we started, what's happened? Sorry. When we arrived in this island in 2009, the shape of the island and the size of the island is exactly what you can see on the left, on the top left of this slide, okay? But in 2020, they decided to realize an harbor, okay? Let me try to see if I'm able to use. Okay, so they realized an harbor here. Also, they increased the size of the island, but just only few months ago, they started to realize an harbor. Okay, and you can see here, they decide to realize an harbor. This harbor is when this harbor will be finished in few months. International airplane will able to arrive in this area. Okay. How is organized our campus? We are inside of in a local island that they call it Fisherman Islands. And just only to explain you how the Maldives works, there are two different kind of islands. The island just only for local people and island just only for resorts, okay? And in this local island, in Magudu, where we are, there is this campus, 3,000 meters square of campus, very small, not big, but we can find any kind of facilities in this campus because we have labs and teaching rooms, we have students' rooms, professor rooms, diving centers, dining room, open space, recreational area, okay? And this is a picture, one of the picture of our students' room. We are able to host 30, we have 30 beds, more or less, and 12 for students and 12 beds for professors. And this is a picture of the room for the students, not luxury, not very simple. This is the canteen that where the student can stay and the researcher can stay and they can eat. And we have a local mama that prepare for us food. And we have agreement also for them, okay? Because everything must be organized, must be identified inside of an agreement. And for instance, you can see on the right the food they provide for us. On the left, 1 time per week they provide a local traditional food. They provide food and Maldivian food. And also because the idea is that you must be integrated as much as possible with the community. And of course, we have a classroom, as I told you, and we have on the right, you can see the classroom. The only thing that you can understand that you are in a classroom is that you can see the shoes, or you cannot see the shoes of the teacher. And of course, we can do lectures also outside of the campus. And we have also a recreational area where the student can study during the evening when there is not light. Labs. About labs, we have labs with high-level technology inside. So we have labs to investigate and to do biotechnology experiments. We can do experiment about disease. We have microscopy, and we have ROV. We have drones, and we have multi-beam. We have any kind of facilities that can give a permission to us to do research in this place, high-level research. Okay, for instance, in the biotechnology, in biotech lab, we can do analysis of DNA, RNA, We can frozen our samples minus 100 degree, and we can do any kind of experiment. And this is most important. I told you that one of the most important things about this Marine Research Center is the agreement that we have with the government, with the local people, with the council, with anyone. And the second one is technology. And technology is very important also. Yeah, sorry, there was not a picture. You didn't see this picture that we have, as I mentioned before. We have rover, we have drones, multi-beam, etc. And it's very, very important to have the best technology that we are able to bring in that place. Okay, when I started this adventure, I remember very well that some people told me, you are starting to work in the Maldives. Of course, the first thing that they tell us is, you work in the Maldives. You go there just only to enjoy, to stay in the beach, and to swim. And of course, no. And this, I know that you understand very well, but what to do? This is what the people tell us every time. And the second one was, okay, you are going to work in the Maldives. I have a very old microscopy that I don't use. Maybe I can give you, because maybe you can use in the Maldives. Not with the idea that in the middle of nothing, you have to use old things, all the equipment, all the stupid things, something that doesn't work very well. I remember that I told that person, okay, please take your microscopy with you, bring it to your home, do what you want, but I don't want old equipment. I want the best equipment, because if you want to do the best things, you have to use the best equipment, and you have to give the chance to the researcher to do the best research. And so we have agreement, we have technology, and of course we have also permission to collect samples, permission to export samples, and any kind of permission that is necessary. And of course we have also any kind of facilities to go under the water. So we are able to bring with our Doni, is the name of of our boat that is possible to use 24 hours every day. With this Doni, we are able to bring with us 30 people, okay? We have equipment to bring under the water 30 people. And of course, we are able to move just not only around our island, not just only around Magudu Island, but we are able also to move in other place. We are able to move in a pristine area. So we are able to move in the pristine area. We are able to move, but I will explain to you later, also in the research area. And we're able to do any kind of research in this place. And for this reason, since we have agreement, since we have technology, since we have work permission, since everything is set up to host international students, international researchers, we are able to bring people around the world. We are able to bring people from South America, Europe, Italy, of course, Australia, Japan, South Africa. And this is very amazing, if I can tell you something. Okay, just now I want to tell you something about Maldives, because I don't know what you know about Maldives. Maybe every time that we think about Maldives, we believe that Maldives are pristine area, amazing, fantastic, and they are fantastic. They are amazing. But maybe they don't know exactly how is the situation. I want to tell you something, okay, just only some short points that you can, just only to give you an idea how it's organized. So, this is our island, 700 meters long. And in the red light, you can see our campus. And you can see that in the center of the island, there is a big space for the sport activities. It's very important for the Maldivian people, sport. So in any island, there is a football area. There are areas just only dedicated for the campus. And in this area, as I told you at the beginning, there are more than 900 people living there. And they started a few years ago, if I don't remember wrong, 5 years ago, they started to realize agriculture activities. And they started chicken farm activities. Remember, 700 meters long, 900 people. Agricultural activities, chicken farm activities, and pristine area. Okay. So one of the things maybe is important for you, interesting for you, is of course the land use of the highlands. I want to give you an example of what's happened in the capital. The capital is Mare. Is 2 kilometers square. Is more or less 2 kilometers square, and then they live more than 300 people. Okay, and if I ask you, can you tell me the color of this picture of the highlands? Maybe you can tell me that green, of course, plenty of trees, green. Okay, this was the situation in 1972. Okay, before tourism started. Okay, 2014. Okay, just only a few years later, the same picture, the same signs, you can see that something is not exactly the same. And if I ask you, which is the color of this picture, it's not easy to tell green. There is no green. And maybe some people can tell, no, there is green. In the football place, there is a green area. Okay, there is a green area. But I can tell you no, because this is not real green. There is not a real grass. It's a plastic grass. Okay, and this is the end of situation. No, because in some years later, they started to grow the buildings. Okay, they are not able to spread the buildings in the water, but they're able to grow. So this is the last situation. No, because few years ago, they started to realize skyscrapers. Okay, so they started to realize infrastructure, big infrastructure. This is an hospital that has been provided by Chinese. This is the new bridge. Until 5 years ago, there weren't bridge in Maldives, and this is the first bridge, the first Maldivian bridge, and they started to realize harbor, of course, but what they want now is to realize airport. So they started to realize airport, and this is no, sorry, not harbor, airport. And this is the airport that they are trying to realize in our island, in Magudu Island. And just only to give you an idea, we are here. Okay. And this is because they want to increase tourism. Okay. And I don't know if you know why Maldives are very famous. Why? Of course, Maldives are famous because the environment is amazing, manta, amazing fish, amazing amazing corals, amazing color of the water. But my colleagues, they told me that the dream of Maldives started in 1970, more or less in the same time when the movie started to show some movie like Blue Lagoon. I don't know if you know this movie, very famous movie. So they started some movie where all the people were happy in the islands, okay? Young people in amazing islands, a small island, just only swim every day, eat papaya every day, to enjoy in the sun, to smile, to hug, amazing, okay? So, and they started to, in the brain of the people, to realize that maybe Maldives are the best place to live, the best place to go to have an holiday. So they started to have a moon holiday, and they started to do holidays for everyone. And of course, it's not the truth, because it's not easy to survive in a small island. Okay, so a lot of tourism. If I don't remember wrong, last year there were around 2 million people, okay? Spread in the small island. Okay. So one of the problems of Maldives with tourism is, of course, packaging, okay? And everything that arrive in the Maldives must be protected with packaging, with good packaging, and this means that when you remove the plastic from the food, you have to manage the the litter, okay? And what they do in the Maldives what the Maldivians do with the waste, they burn, okay? And just only to give you an idea how much waste they produce, the resort islands, they produce a range of 2 kilos until 70 kilos for person for day. The fishermen at maximum alpha kilo for person per day. And in Mare, 1 kilo, 2 kilo per person per day or waste. Why? In the resort they produce a huge amount of waste for the packaging, okay? And so they burn. This is probably you saw in some video in the internet or on the television the problem of the Tilafushi, the island where everything is any kind of waste is putted, and they burn everything in this area. And on the left side of this, in this area, you can see the waste area of Magudu Island. And this is the incinerator that the resort use to burn the waste. And just only is curiosity that in the Maldives, beach and waste are the same name, have the same name, okay? So some years ago we realized research and the paper that is just only we decided to call in this strange name Maldives, an archipelago that burns, because they burn everything. So we decided to discover dioxins, and we collected samples in any place, and we saw that there are some problems, of course, close in the Tilafushi Island, okay, where they burn everything. And also there are some problems, some small problems, also in the capital, but just all in front of the fish market. And why we have a huge amount of dioxin in front of the fish market? Because there are a lot of boats with old engineering, and so they produce a lot of waste. Okay, and some of my colleagues, they they started to investigate the microplastics, so they have been able to quantify the microplastic just only using pictures. Okay, one day I was in a beach and I remember that I saw some piece of plastic in the beach, and so I started to think, oh, terrible. It's a lot of plastic in the beach. It's like a metastasis. And metastasis, I thought, maybe my doctor colleagues, maybe they can do something that the people that work with diagnostic imaging analysis. And I spoke with them and they told, yes, we give us the picture and we can think that we are working with metastasis. And they realized a patent. Sorry. And so they've been able to realize a paper and a patent. And since we are in a local island, we work close to the local people. It's important also to do everything also with local people. Every time we have also we have this target every year to share our result with the government, to share our result with the local people, with the council, but it's important also to try to see if we can do also something for the community to increase the well-being of the community. So for instance, this is just only a small project that has been realized a few years ago. I don't know if you know that in the Maldives until a few years ago there was not drinkable water. Okay, the only water available was the water coming from the rain. So we realized for the school a drinkable water system where the students can drink. And the idea was also to realize the same model, the same project that has been realized in Bicocca University, in my university. Okay, so, and what we are trying to do also is to bring together also young students and to share with them why it's so important to protect pristine area. And here we have the ceremony, the donation of 1 million bottles for Magudu School, but realized together also with young students, the student from secondary school from Italy, and we showed them how is important to share the importance of the water, okay, and to share the importance what's happened also when you produce, when you realize an agriculture farm in a small island. And about agriculture farm, I want to tell you something. This is another island, okay? This is not Magudu, this is Goido, another island. It's a very big island. It's 2 kilometers square big. It's more or less the same size of the capital. And you can see in the picture on the right, you can see the forest. On the left, you can see the village. And in the center on the left, you can see agricultural land. But the most important thing that I would like to stress to you is that the color of the water, on the right, close to the forest, the color of the water is more or less blue. On the right. On the left, you can see that it's not blue. It's green. It's not good quality. And why? Because there is a pollution. Because they put in, when you produce agriculture, you put chemicals, you put fertilizer, and these chemicals, the fertilizer, enter in the ground and they move very quickly in the water. And so you don't use the fertilizer, the chemicals to grow the salads, to grow papaya or other vegetables, but just only to feed the algae. And this is, for instance, one of the things that we saw in our island, okay? And in the normal situation, in a reef, is this situation, okay, as you can see here. And since the quality of the water sometimes is not good, we saw that there was a huge amount of algae growing above corals, destroying the corals, because you know very well that there is a balance between corals and algae. When the quality of the water is good, the corals grow. When the quality of the water is not good, the algae increase their quantity. Okay, and of course, as I told you, if you put chicken farm, agriculture farm, everything that you put in the highland, of course, go inside of the ground, also because there are, in any island, more or less, is the structure of the water is something like that. So we have a freshwater lands and brackish water lands, but everything is linked with the ocean. Okay, this is a very big problem. Of course, we don't have also problem. We don't have only problem, but we have also, of course, amazing situation. Okay, so we have some of the people of my team working in the biodiversity. They discover a lot of new species. They discover new corals like Echinophilia galli. Just only, I'm very proud that they decided to give me my name. Ingolfiel maldiviensis, Turritopsoides Mare, with the name of the center, and so on. And there are a lot of new species that is possible to discover, that we discover every year. Okay. And of course, you know that one of the most big issues in the Maldives is the climate change, that the temperature of the water, that when the temperature of the water increases, the corals die. And we have the bleaching phenomenon. So we have to take care also of this kind of problems, but I will tell you just only later. But before, I want to tell you something about what we are trying to do, also related with climate change. Since one of the problems with climate change is to use oil, so we have been able to work with the community and to receive money from a charity, from Caritas International charities, international charities, to provide the solar panel at the community. Okay, so this is here you can see some pictures of when they put the solar panel on the roof of the council house. Okay, and we also, in this project, we involve also the people, because we decide to do a project with the people, to involve local people, students. I want to show you something very simple, really simple, that has been realized with the community during the realization of this infrastructure. Some of people of my team realized some video, some movie together with the students and with the community. I want to show you just only a few seconds of this video. Have a look. No?
حبرتكايتي بعد كل أرض رشاشري النهر أرضنا معلومات بسبب توفاق موجودة إذا أنك مبولة لأنني حبيبة كمسكين يوم توفاق موجودة رأيت الفيديو من دلالة media important أدينهم مستقبل لكن دائما مستقبل media important يجسم معلوماتي تغير من بسيطة وسأمنظر الفاق معلومات رأيت عليه مفرغة فاق معلومات رأيت عليه بأسا وأنا كمسي media important فاق معبود رأيتنا خالد مستقبل إلينا كما في media report اليوم نجيبتك وانا فاسا نستعين بكم نسابهم إكرام فاق معبود رأيتنا مستقبل ورأجالا قرآن راستا كتاب القرآن اليوم نسابهم منفع قرآن فاق معبود رأيتنا شيء اليوم فاق معبود رأيتنا فاق معبود رأيتنا
So as you can see that all the community has been involved in this project. Okay, so just only try to come back with some project that is possible to realize, that we realize in Magudu. Some are related with coral disease, and of course we identify some new species of new diseases, but we're trying to see also some solutions. So together with the Italian Institute of Technology, we provide, we realize a patent to produce a plast to put in the corals and to protect the corals from the disease. Of course, we don't want to go around the Maldives to put plast at any kind of corals, but just only we have to find new solution, to find new idea, okay? And one of the most important things that we do is also coral restoration, okay? And just only 2 years ago, we provided at the government the guidelines to realize coral restoration in the Maldives, the best way to produce coral restoration, okay? And we do also, we are open, we are an open source. Every student that want to, every research that want to do something is an open source Mare Center. They can come and they can do any kind of research. Of course, they cannot destroy forests, they cannot keep childs, but if they want to do good things, we are open for that. And here you can see just only something that you never see in the market, but just only something that happened in our island. Apple decided to test a case of the iPad underwater, a case for to transform the iPad in an underwater iPad. Okay, and so they started to test the iPad in the water. And of course, we do a lot of research. We do something with fishing. We started to work with fisheries ministry about fish, about tuna. But I want to tell you something here because you know that the Maldivians are very famous because the pollen line strategy to use to collect fish. You know, they collect fish in this way, one by one, so they don't kill dolphins. Okay, one by one, they take dolphins one by one. And also they do something really, really nice. This is something that is possible to see at least 1 time per year in the Maldives, okay? You can see the circle, the semicircles that you can see in the beach are 40 ladies, okay? They're taking a net, okay? And I don't know if you saw that there was a school of fish. So what they are trying to do is to bring fish inside of the nets, okay? And when then the fish arrive in the nets, all the fish that has been able to collect, they take the fish for the community. They bring the fish for all the communities. Okay, it's amazing, really amazing. And then, and also there are some strange things. For instance, we saw that in some islands, just only a few islands, there are some corals put in this way in order to be used like a cage for fish, okay? So some fishermen are able to collect fish using this kind of corals, put it in this way. And one of the different things that we started just only last year is to investigate mangroves, okay, because there was not information about mangroves in the Maldives. And we signed also an agreement with the Ministry of Environment to realize new park that we call it vertical park, with the idea that you have to protect any part of the environment, okay? And so now one of the things that we are doing is to provide information at the government in order to realize the best, to identify the best place to protect, to realize new marine parks. But we do also something related with our colleagues. We do studies about anthropology and sociology and geography. Just only to give you an example, just only I move very fast because I don't think that I have a lot of time more. Just only we are trying to investigate any kind of things. Just only to give you some idea. Official language is Divey. Divey is coming from Arab. Okay, it's a language coming from. There is an Arab influences. Okay. And if you see the shape of the letter in the Arabic letters, you can see that are more or less the same shape of the dunas. But if you see the official language, the shape is more or less the same shape of the islands, of the atolls, and in the traditional festivals, they use the same shapes. This is interesting. That's something that our psychologists are started to investigate. Okay, they do something traditional dress, traditional carpet, traditional cups, traditional instrument that they use when they, how can I tell you in English, I don't remember exactly, when you work with coconuts and you want to do something like that. I don't remember the name in English now. And also what we do is also to investigate the traditional. They do amazing festival that there are not information, okay? So we work with our anthropologists to try to preserve their culture, okay? And this is something that there is a festival that they call it Bodumas, okay? Just only, and this is one of the videos that we provide. Let me see if I'm able. And this is just only, something related with the Bodumas, the traditional festival. And just only tell you something about other topics. Also, of course, since there are a lot of research, we have agreement also with the research, so our researchers can move in any kind of research and to do research in other area. And there are some researchers, there are some research that they provide to us a space to open a lab, okay, where it's possible to have microscopies, 3D prints, and to do any kind of things. And of course, we do also teaching activities. We have a marine science course linked with the Maldives National University. We have a PhD program in marine science, technology, and management. We have short programs related to different topics: coral reef restoration, tropical marine fish, tropical marine ecology, and so on. And we do also some courses just only for the local people. We do, for instance, just only a few months ago, we, together with the UNDP, United Nations Development Program, we realized a webinar for just only for the council member, Maldivian council member. Okay, we call it this program 188 Better Islands, and we provide information of the people. And just only to give you an idea about what's happened, just only in 2022, we have been able to, we have more or less every year 20 bachelor theses. We have different master theses. We have now, just only in 2022, 17 PhD students, 30 publications for year. We participate at around 20 scientific papers for years. So we do a lot of things. And so what I show you during this short presentation is just only a small part of the activities that we do in our research center. And why we do this kind of different activities? Because we are a very big team. And I don't know if you can see here the pictures, and you can see the skills of the people. We have biologists, of course, but we have geologists, we have psychologists, we have geographists. We have different skills that work together, and together we are trying to investigate this amazing place. So if I finish my presentation, I hope to be ready to reply at any kind of question. Thank you very much.
If anyone has questions for Mr. Gali, you can contact them privately by email. Now for the last presentation, it's about the exchange opportunities at the University of Costa Rica by Marco Barahona.
Thank you. I'm going to try to be quick so we can go to lunch. Does this work? Is it working? No, it's not. Yeah, yes, it is. That's not me, for sure. I'm not. So thank you to the Inqua Mare committee for the invitation to make this presentation. My name is Marco Barahona. I'm an associate professor here at the School of Geology. I'm also happens to be right now the chair of the graduate program, geology graduate program, here at the University of Costa Rica. So Viviana asked me to present, to make this presentation about exchange opportunities with the University of Costa Rica, and what I'm going to do is to make a brief introduction about what is the University of Costa Rica. I'm going to talk about the office, the liaison office that works with the international affairs and external cooperation. Try to focus on the research internships at the university and with the opportunities for international students. And also I'm going to talk a little bit about a few examples of international experiences here in geology, both in the graduate program and the undergraduate program. And also revisit other opportunities for mutual collaboration. So the University of Costa Rica. The University of Costa Rica is a public university, and we are very proud about that. The university was founded in 1941. It currently has more than 40,000 students. Did I say that correctly? Yeah, 40,000. Yeah, 40,000 students. The undergraduate admission is highly selective. We have an exam, or the students have an exam, and the acceptance rate is about 25%. The main campus, where we are currently now, is located on a 1 million square meter, sounds like a lot, or 250 acre campus in San Pedro, San Jose, Costa Rica, where you're currently located. This is a map showing the other regional campuses that the University of Costa Rica has. We are here. But also there are other in the northern part of Costa Rica, in the south of Costa Rica, in the Caribbean side. It's called Atlantic Campus, but it's actually in the Caribbean, next to the Caribbean Sea. And other ones here near the center of Costa Rica, where about 50% of the population of Costa Rica lives. That's why it's all concentrated in that part. The University of Costa Rica has 6 academic areas: liberal arts, basic sciences, social sciences, food and agricultural sciences, health, engineering. And those academic areas are divided in faculties, and some of those faculties are divided in schools, and some of those schools are divided in departments. The School of Geology doesn't have a department, so it's not correct to say that we are a department. We are in school, the School of Geology. And the School of Geology, along with 4 other schools, the School of Mathematics, the School of Chemistry, the School of Biology, and the School of Physics, form are part of the Faculty of Science, of the Science Faculty. The University of Costa Rica offers 240 undergraduate programs, 71 specializations, 87 professional master's programs, 78 academic master's programs, and 10 doctoral interdisciplinary programs. And we also currently have postdoc exchange opportunities for those looking to work here in the tropics. The University of Costa Rica is currently ranked as 544 in the QS World University Ranking and has an overall score of 4.3 stars out of 5. So, within the University of Costa Rica, there is the Office of International Affairs and External Cooperation that deals with all the exchange opportunities in the different flavors that they come, such as visiting students, visiting academics, research international programs, postdocs opportunities. So the Office of International Affairs and External Cooperation is a dependency of the Rector's Office and has a committee to facilitate the internationalization process in the essential task of the University of Costa Rica, and tries to promote a global culture as well as practices that favor the full development of the teaching, research, and social action. For us here at the University of Costa Rica, social action is a very strong component because of the vision of the university, but also we are very proud about our research and of course the teaching. That is the main reason of the University of Costa Rica. So in the website of the OIC, I'm gonna say the name in Spanish because it's easier for me. In the website of OIC, you can see all the current active agreements between the University of Costa Rica and other universities in the world. It's public, so you can check this site and you can see the different programs. The different agreements. There are 2 main types of agreements: the frame agreements and the specific agreements. The frame is a more general kind of agreement between both universities that say we both want to participate, we want to have our research programs and do things between our goals. And the specific agreements, they detail how many students you're going to try to exchange throughout the years, the courses, etc. And I chose Italy just for fun. So the University of Pisa is the one that is shown here. Also, we have research internships and professional practices, and they are formalized through specific agreements. Remember the frame and the specific agreements, which define the terms and responsibilities related to the activity of research, stay, or professional internships of foreign students and academics at the University of Costa Rica to develop actions linked to research, teaching, and social action. And we are going to revisit this term later on the presentation in a case study for the School of Geology, probably coming soon. So there are other kinds of opportunities to link research within the University of Costa Rica and other institutions. One is the Technical Scientific Cooperation. The Technical Scientific Cooperation deals with those cooperation agencies that already exist in other countries, such as JICA, the Japanese cooperation, the European cooperation through the Erasmus program, the Korean cooperation, the Mexican cooperation, and those are the 4 type of technical scientific operations that exists right now, or the University of Costa Rica has right now available. The other kind is the international networks. International networks are associations or even agencies that are not exactly universities, that have research goals that also are shared by the University of Costa Rica, or a group of researchers here at the University of Costa Rica. And the University of Costa Rica subscribes to those agencies or associations, and may even pay a small bill to participate in those agencies or associations, such as the Central American Postgraduate Accreditation Agency or the University Agency of Francophonie, etc. So I'm going to show a few examples of international experiences within the geology here at the University of Costa Rica. As I said, both at the graduate and undergraduate programs. So I'm going to present about the international virtual courses we had during the pandemic. We all had to learn how to deal with the research and the teaching via Zoom, via our computer at home. So we were able to explore this a little bit more and to offer international courses at the regional level through these 2 programs that I'm going to present later on. And also I'm going to talk about the visiting students and professors throughout the semesters, and one example with the University of El Salvador, that is also a Central American country. The School of Geology offers 2 degrees. First one is the bachelor degree in geology. For that degree, the students, it has a program of 4 years. And later on, if you stay here at the university, if you are still willing to study, for 1 more year plus a thesis or other kind of graduation project, you can get a licenciatura degree. La licenciatura is a degree that used to be in Spain, but no longer, right? After the Bologna educational reform no longer exists. So I guess it exists only in Latin America right now. So we have the bachelor degree, that is just like the bachelor degree in the US, and the licenciatura. And we offer in the geology graduate program, we offer 2 master degrees. One is an academic program, that is the hydrogeology and water resources management. And the other is a professional program that is called disaster risk management and emergency response. And remember, most of the courses here at the School of Geology have a very high amount of fieldwork component, and usually there are less than 20 students, which allows a great learning experience because the students have a more individualized attention through the work in the field and in the labs. I guess I'm not sure if the students are very happy with that, but that's the way it is. So one of the examples that I wanted to share about virtual courses is this one that we gave for FOCAR APS. That's funded by SICA. FOCAR APS stands for Central American and Dominican Republic Drinking Water and Sanitation Forum, and it's funded by the Central American Integration System. It was a course about introduction to risk management and risk scenarios for development management, directed to 50 professionals from Central America and Dominican Republic working in national water management institutions. The message that I wanted to say is that we are able to give courses to people that are not enrolled in the University of Costa Rica. We have the platform to be able to present these courses and to follow with the students throughout the course. This course and the other one were held for more than 5 months each. And the other one is this one, the Aqual program. It was funded by the Euskadi government in Spain. It was a course about groundwater management training directed to 24 professionals from El Salvador and Costa Rica, working also in national water management institutions. So even though the students, half of the students were here in Costa Rica, all the classes were held via Zoom. Also, about the figure of research internships, probably we are hoping that during the second semester of the 2024, we will have students from the University of El Salvador and also 2 professors from the same university, from the geophysics department. We are hoping that they are going to participate in the field work of one of the courses that we have here at the University of Costa Rica that is called Campaña Geológica. Campaña Geológica is like the last course that we have here at the bachelor degree, and there's a lot of field work there. We have about 2 to 3 weeks of field work. Here are a few examples of previous Campañas Geológicas of students working there in amazing scenarios, as you can see. We also have other opportunities for mutual collaboration. We have thesis. We can have conjoined thesis, that someone that is in a different university can be part of the committee of the student. We have professional practice, that is a course within our program. The students can go and work overseas, such as you did right in Spain. And collaboration with local governments through the School of Geology. That is that we have agreements with municipalities that facilitates the work that people from overseas can do in different parts of Costa Rica. And also we have postdoc opportunities through our active research projects. And that's all, I guess, for the time. Thank you. I'd be happy to take answers. Sorry, I'm going to answer. I'm going to take questions. And yes, I can speak slower, but I didn't. Yeah? The way to do it will be through the OICE, the International Affairs Office, and they are going to tell the students all the protocol, all the steps that she or he has to follow in order to come and to study here in Costa Rica. We have had students from overseas here at the School of Geology. A few years ago, I had a student from Mexico in my course of hydrogeology, and we have had students from Europe. Coming to study here, throughout the semester, But also, I just want to say that if there are a student that wants to I don't know, for example, to come like the students from El Salvador that are coming just for the field work of this Campaña Geológica, this course. That's a different figure. That's through an active research project with a professor, and that's called a research internship. Yeah, so it depends on what are the interests. Yes.
Are the courses in Spanish or some in English?
Yes, actually, all the courses are in Spanish right now here, but it's a very good opportunity for the student to learn Spanish.
Of course, just to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. But also, I just wanted to add that most of the professors here at the School of Geology speak a little bit of English, and so they could, I don't know, help the students. Yeah.
I have a question regarding our profile of students. For instance, I'm more in the marine science degree, and so they have subjects related to geology, but they have also several subjects related to biology. So it would be possible, for instance, a student to come to have subjects within the studies of geology and some subjects within the biology, or it needs to be only in a single school?
No. It can have different flavors, and yes, I didn't say that, or I didn't mention that, but we also have a research center, and we have had experiences with people coming from different countries that want to make a research. Not centered exactly in geology, but in an area of expertise, and it's it's doable, totally.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Anyone? Yep. So thank you.
Thank you.
So now it's a lunch time, so remember to take your ticket, and it's in the same place of the last days. Okay, we will return at 13, so we have a time, I think so. Okay.